All right, so now we're going to talk about decimals and place value. So let's just start by reviewing the names of each place value column. All right, so here we have the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 10 millions, and 100 millions. So label the columns again, begin by labeling the ones column and then move left. All right, so this you are actually going to do on your companion sheet, your worksheet. So go ahead and check out the section under place value charts, and you are going to write this on your worksheet. Now remember, you can pause this video, you can rewind it if you need to, but make sure you are labeling on your worksheet, okay? So let's start with ones. You can see the decimal point here. So we're starting at the decimal point and working our way back first. All right, so we have our ones, our tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000s. Now your chart should look exactly like that. Don't take shortcuts. Write out the whole word just like you see it here on the screen. Okay, so now the columns to the right of the decimal point need to be labeled. But how do we label these columns? That first place value after the decimal is called the tenths with a TH at the end. So it's different than tens. Don't get them confused. This is tens, this is tenths with TH at the end. And then the next the next place value is hundredths, and then we have the thousandths. All right, so tenths is right after the decimal point, hundredths is 2 places after the decimal point, and thousandth is 3 places after the decimal point. All right, remember, pause and go ahead and fill out your chart if you need to. All right, let's zoom in on these numbers to the right of the decimal point. We're going to label them again here. So you are not doing this on your chart. All right, we're just going to go over these again. Tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. This next part is extremely helpful, so you're going to want to make sure you're paying attention here. So tenths. This is the tenths column because it means that 2 out of 10 equal parts. That's why it's the tenths. 2 out of 10 equal parts. This is the hundredths column because it means 9 out of 100 equal parts. And this is the thousandths column because it means 8 out of 1,000 equal parts. Now you can just imagine what that might look like. If this is the tenths, because there's 10 parts, and this is the hundreds, because this is the hundredths, this is the hundredths because there's 100 parts. You can imagine what the thousandths would look like. A lot of spaces, right? All right, so this is a super important part that is going to be really valuable for you to remember. Which of these amounts shows 1.7? So think about it. What place is the 7? Tenths, hundredths, or thousandths? The 7 is in the tenths place if you look back at your chart. So this would be the correct amount that shows 1.7 because it's 1 whole and 7 tenths. 7 is in the tenths place. This would be 1 7/100ths because it's 7 out of 100, so that would look different. So let's actually talk about this. How would this be written as a number and why would it look different? Since the last rectangle has 7 of 100 equal parts colored in, the 7 belongs in the hundredths column. So it would look like this. This is the hundredths column because this is the tenths. Remember, tenths, hundredths, thousands. So if it's 7 out of 100, it has to be in the hundredths column. So what do we put in that blank space? A 0. So it would be 1.07 or 1 7/100ths. All right, so now we're going to look back at our worksheet here. So you'll see the number that you see on your screen that is on your worksheet. So we want to find the value of each of these each of these different numbers. What is their place value? So first, I want you to pause the video and try and fill these out by yourself. See if you can figure out what their place value is based on the place value columns that you did just a minute ago. And then you can play the video to check your answers, okay? All right, so the value of the 5 is 5,000. Value of the 3 is 3/10. Value of the 0, the value of 0 is always 0, okay? That doesn't change. It wouldn't be 0/10, it wouldn't be 10, it would just be 0. The value of the 7 is 7/1000ths. And the value of the 6 is 6/100ths. And that's what they should look like. All right, so if you weren't sure about that one and you needed my help just to get some examples, at least try this one by yourself. So now we have 35,174.206. So try and figure out the value of each of these numbers that are underlined for each one. The value of the 1, 100. Value of the 6 is 6/1000ths. Not 6,000, 6/1000ths. Value of the 0, the value of 0 is always 0. The value of the 3 is 30,000. And the value of the 2 is 2/10ths.